Yes, we're working on it.
Working
Right.
on it.
It is
I'm gonna see what another
18:30.
citizen-
Let the meeting be called to order. All right. Let us look at the minutes real quick, if you haven't. And approve them or not.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the Zoom. Never mind, it's working. Just check. You guys are good.
You want the door open or?
I'm gonna leave it open for the moment, yes. Okay.
Okay.
From what I can remember, this is right.
I have a correction.
Seems like it was 2 years ago.
Real.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
We need a motion to correct.
Okay, I wasn't here on the 9th, I was out of town. I think my name listed.
Okay.
Okay.
We need a motion for that correction?
We can just have the motion to approve with corrections.
All right. Would you like to put that in the form of a motion to approve with corrections?
I move that we approve the minutes with corrections.
I second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. Approved as amended. We have any comments from the citizens?
Citizen.
All right, minutes are approved, no comments. Board member comments? I'll say it's good to be back. It's, seems like forever, hadn't seen y'all. And, been totally consumed with storm cleanup, so it's good to get back into the ag advisory business.
I would like to say, we did talk about the food summit, and we did talk about having a networking type meeting, and we had to postpone that because of the virus, I guess. I mean, that's pretty, people probably realize that, but we have been having some meetings. Me in particular, I'm on the farmers market, I'm calling it pre-task force, because we hadn't set the task force yet. And we have made some headway there. I met with Gwen. Libby Embody is managing the Walhalla market. I met with Gwen and Libby, and we talked about some ways to coordinate some things, like our marketing strategies and as far as marketing the market. And as well as we're going to try to do some surveys of both the customers and the vendors to see, you know, what their needs are and if they're being met, or if they would like to have markets on different days, when and where, different places. They have agreed to work together on this, and we hope to be able to have some advertisement, maybe like we talked about before, Adam, if we have that, still have that space in the paper for both markets, and all three, I guess, when Seneca opens. We haven't had any response from them, so.
We can certainly discuss it at that point when there's.
Okay, but the Foothills Market has been going since May, and it's really going really well. I've been up there every Saturday. Well, this past Saturday, we had our market building, opened our market building. It was really neat. It was really, if you haven't seen it yet, it's in a great place. It can be seen by the road, and I think it's going to work out great. We're still waiting on some gravel. I hope they're able to get it in before it rains too much this week. But it really was a great place to have the market this week, and from now on, hopefully. So things are progressing there at the farm center, for sure. And I'm not sure if the Walhalla Market's opening Saturday or not. I haven't seen anything about it, and I may have to propose, because a lot of growers had problems getting their stuff in the ground because of all the rain and the cool weather. So I'm not sure if they're gonna be open this weekend. This was supposed to be their opening weekend, but I haven't heard yet, so.
How many vendors were at the Foothills Market this past Sunday?
This past week, I think, let's see, we had 16.
Oh, good.
We didn't have a lot of people with, of course, there's not a lot of produce yet.
Yeah.
We do have a new vendor that does coffee, and one of the names is Madison. They're named after the area. One is named after one of our local beekeepers. We did have mostly people have been having plants, starters and stuff like that. So.
And eggs.
And eggs, yeah, we had an egg vendor this week.
Oh, yeah, I bought 2 of
So,
them.
and then as y'all may know, most of our protein producers, whether it's beef, chicken, whatever, are having problems with processing, and a lot of them are very low if they have anything. And most of them that I've talked to, their next processing date is not until the end of July.
Yep.
So we have a low supply of local meat that can be sold retail. So it's a real issue. But it is what it is. But it's going well, and I hope in the next few weeks, we're gonna have some produce.
Be lovely.
It's just not, we haven't had enough sunlight and heat yet, I don't think, for some things. But I just wanted to mention that we are working on the farmer's market issue. So, and we're making some progress. Now, I haven't heard anything. They're like everybody else. They're working on storm damage and everything else. But the Food Policy Council, I haven't heard yet how they've progressed on that. But that's something that, to me, became very apparent during especially the tornado and the virus, that we really have an issue with our food system here in the county. And it should be a top priority for all of us.
Good. All right. I'd like to work with them and find out what's going on with the Food Policy Council and see if we can get together. Thank you for that. I'm glad to hear that's good news. Number 5, old and new business. How about new business first?
Actually, if I may, so the purpose of new and old business here is discussion regarding the actual titles, new and old business. County Council recently did away with having those 2 spots on the agenda for the purposes of clarity and FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. So Mr. Root, the county attorney, asked that we put this on here to have a discussion of whether or not you will feel comfortable removing those 2 items from the agenda going forward. They're on this agenda, but moving forward to remove them from the agendas. And his purpose is to fully achieve the requirements for Freedom of Information Acts. The public has to have advance notice of any issues which the board intends to discuss. And the old and new business categories, while helpful for many private company business meetings, do not provide specific notice of topics to be addressed, and thereby open the door for discussions to occur and actions to be taken that the public is unaware of. So, it's while the chairman does have the authority to remove it unilaterally, it's best to have this discussion about it. So if anybody has an issue with removing it, or whatever, you all can have a discussion, and if you're okay removing it, then we don't necessarily, we probably have a vote for clarity, either way. But you don't have to. You could, so it's up to you.
It's kind of a new thought. I mean, you said council is doing away with it?
That's correct.
That's your recommendation of the attorney.
I don't, okay. It's a new thing. It's,
How is
most
new business
organized meetings
introduced?
have those, you know.
I mean, how does new business introduced to just, I mean, I don't know, my thinking is that's when new business is introduced.
So again, that is in fact his point. So let's just say for purpose of this conversation.
So it's not a good thing. How do you ever get any new business?
Right, so let's just say you wanted to bring up that we should vote to support something, whatever that something is, and we have that vote. Even if staff says, hey, you probably shouldn't have the vote, you still have that vote. So you've had a meeting and you haven't properly noticed that thing that you're voting on.
Right.
And so to get something on the agenda, and granted this is up to the chairman, but I'll create a form, which I created the same one I created for planning commission. And you all could just at any point in time, just say, hey, Mr. Blanton, we'd like to put this on the agenda, and everything gets properly noticed. Now, comments at the tops, the board member comments, could also be utilized to say, hey, I have a comment about X, Y, and Z, but comments generally speaking, aren't actionable items.
So if, back to number 3 there, not to back up, but for instance, if a citizen made a comment, could we discuss it?
Sure, and so under board member comments after number 4, yes.
If he wanted to discuss it, then, so the purpose is to have it on the agenda so that we can plan for it and everybody knows what's coming.
The public knows what we're talking about.
Okay.
Correct.
Or better.
I feel better about that, yeah. So it's not blocking anybody from putting anything on there. It's just, it has to be up front ahead of time. Okay. Any more discussion about it? Any ideas? Would we like to entertain a motion to accept that, doing away with the old and new business? Is there a motion?
I make a motion to exclude those from the meetings, new and old business.
Second.
Everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, it passes. Good deal. All right. Ag Disclosure Act. That's one of the 4 main strategies we identified is to just try to get working on and make some headway quickly. And with a 3-month delay, that's kind of, anyway. We'll start now. So 8118 says, work with the Real Estate Licensing Commission to add Ag Disclosure Act to ensure people know that ag is going on there. So I was thinking that we would divide these 4 initiatives up into subcommittees. And I was thinking about who might be good on each committee, who deals with these kind of things. Doug's with the Farm Bureau, he deals with these kind of little legislative things, and Ed's up on those kind of things. I thought they might be on the committee to work on the Ag Disclosure Act.
If I may. So something like this, it wouldn't, even though, like, say, Oconee County said, if we all agreed and went to planning council, it wouldn't be like it's gonna happen now just because we say so. It's something that has to go to the state real estate licensing board to go through. And that would be the track, we would take here up to council to recommend to the state advisory board that we add this. And not just for Oconee County, but, across the state. So when a big issue with farmers have is somebody moves in next door and all of a sudden your farm is now a nuisance to them because whatever. So, this would be just another disclosure. If you're buying a house, you have the asbestos, lead paint,
Termite.
termite, things like that. This would be another box that real estate agents you have to check. Say, hey, you're moving next to a farm.
That's to make people heighten their awareness to know that they were here first, and you know what you're getting into, and don't complain about it. So, would Ed, Doug, and I'll be a 3rd person on there too, would y'all be willing to work on that committee?
Yes.
Sorry Doug's not here, but
That means he says yes.
yeah,
He said
means-
yes.
means he's elected.
If you're not here to defend yourself.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's
Okay,
an implied yes.
that's what happens when you don't show up, right? You get elected. So, the goals are to research, you see the goals there, 2, 3, and we'll hold off on 4 and 5, draft something to bring to council.
And first step would be bring it to us chew on it for a minute, and then we'll either send it to planning commission or directly to council, depending on what we're directed to do. I'm not 100% sure at that point, but we'll bring it up when the time is right and say, hey, this could be helpful.
And so that's going to require some research. We've learned a lot about what's going on nationwide by some research that people have done that has been so helpful in drafting the things we've done. So research, first step, and then so forth. Any more comment, discussion on that? Okay, let's move to the next one, the Right to Farm Act. South Carolina has a right to farm laws, and we would consider at least supporting the Right to Farm Act that the state has. Kind of like a lot of the cities, this is kind of a weird example, but go by the county's leash law. A lot of people have adopted and go by what's already there, don't reinvent. So that's number 6 is to, or 7 is to work on the right to farm policy, or support it, or however we want to approach it. Again, bring something to council that's actionable at some point later on. So, and again, number 2 there, research is, it begins with research to find out what's out there, what other places are doing, how we can support those, or how they would fit into ours.
And if I may, so it wouldn't, in no way, shape, or form, to supersede or take place of the state right farm act. It's just another thing to bring visibility to agriculture in Oconee County. It'd be subordinate to the state's right to farm.
And I was thinking, again, just because they are actively farming and they are familiar with these laws, I was thinking Ed and Doug and myself might work on that committee. That's just an idea. These are, we can change them any way you want, whatever committee you want to serve on, but I'm just considering them subcommittees so we can try to work closely and get something done. Small group fashion. Any ideas, discussion? Fear not, you're not left out. I've explained to some of you that the next 2 items I thought were perfect for some of you all up there on the bench. Any further discussion on 7? Okay. Number 8, non-traditional and specialty. Provide appropriate assistance to expand non-traditional and specialty agribusiness. And again, since Debbie and Sandra and Kim are doing some specialty things, I thought they might be suited for that subcommittee. Begins with research and also includes how can we transfer farmland from older to younger generations? How can we assist in that?
If I may, so I believe, once again, like the time has slipped by. Vivian and I had a phone call with the Aglanta people. I don't know if we spoke about that.
Yeah, y'all did tell us that y'all
Did
talked
we?
to them.
And there was some mention of even doing that in Georgia, is like your people who have land in agriculture who don't have an heir apparent, they find other young farmers who can never afford land or space and allow them to sublease their farmland and provide that kind of mentorship that farming often entails. And as one option, this could be anything. That's just what I
Right.
put down there.
I'll be glad to work on that.
I thought that with your interest in bees and specialty things and produce and market, that would be good for you, that you might enjoy that.
Or even some, if I may, Dr. Gray's interest in ethnobotany, your things of that nature.
Yeah, I'd be glad to work on that one too.
Organic farming.
Yeah.
Organic and medicinal.
Mini goats. I saw some cute ones the other day. Okay. With the, beginning with research and ending with something in hand to bring to council, so something concrete to show. Okay, number 8, non-traditional and specialty ag assistance. Encourage residents to supplement personal food sources. Like we just mentioned, the storm and the COVID thing has really brought out the delicacy of the food chain. How fragile it is and how it can be damaged easily and interrupted. So it was something else.
It still is.
It still is
There
interrupted.
still is a shortage of certain foods, and now that the restaurants are opening up, there's a shortage through the purveyors like US Foods, Performance, Cisco. There's still shortages.
So if I may, strategy 8.3.1, to encourage residents to plant personal food sources, gardening, and fresh fruit preservation is a bit of a mouthful. So on the agenda, I put victory gardens. And you'd be really surprised, I'm really surprised the number of people who when I say victory garden and go to explain it, they're like, yeah, we know what it is, thanks. It's just really interesting from World War II on those words have stuck in our vocabulary enough. So, all the garden centers going nuts, everyone's stuck at home planting. I mean, I gotta say, I definitely spent too much money at a garden store. There's gonna be, a lot of people are gonna have this season, and okay, that was great fun, let's go back and do something else next. But a few people this will catch on to, and maybe if there's a way to encourage, and unfortunately, due to Clemson University's rules, Carrie Roach can't be joining us tonight, or at least for another month, I believe, for gatherings and things of that nature. But I think that her outreach kind of expertise and things of that nature could be leaned on for this. But somehow just take what people are doing just as a knee-jerk reaction, like, hey, we gotta have food, we're gonna plant a garden, and kind of carry that momentum forward, even if it's just a handful, a small percentage. If we could take those people like, hey, I grew my own tomato. Wonderful, let's do it again next year, kind of thing, and somehow encourage that through, and the end of that sentence is for y'all to figure out, so. Yeah.
Excuse me, that's what we were discussing earlier, about things of getting word out to what people can do and don't have to have a humongous 70-acre farm. Or as far as
I
that
have an
goes, even
experiment going on at my house.
1 acre farm. We were
Container gardens.
wanting to, I was wanting to have, if nothing else, but just a slideshow. But I wanted it to be big enough, and each and every one of us help build something and bring it to the fair and show these people that that's never grown anything, not ever dropped a seed, of container gardening in your, what do you call it, pallets, just anything and everything. But I wanted each one of us, it's a challenge, even square bale gardening, a lot of people's never heard of that can really make a difference, in their tables. And a lot of times they just need to get what I call bit, playing in the dirt again. And a lot of times that's all it takes, is they don't want to spend a whole lot of money of not knowing what they're doing. And that, since this has happened and this COVID and all has happened, a lot of people that's happened to. They were up there, I met this little boy and girl up there at Lowe's, had dirt stacked up right here. This is our first garden. We don't know what we're doing. And I would guess anything, if the fair or the, where we sell produce on Saturdays, we could do something and show these people, and their kids, and especially when you can get kids involved in something like that, but each of us could do, like Rex could do container gardening. You could do square bale gardening, or, and she could do something else, and I could do something else, and bring it all together and have a really nice, big presentation. And, really, I want it to be advertised really well, and to show people that you don't have to have, even a half acre to really make. I'll tell y'all a story. I moved one time, and my great uncle had this trailer park. 6 spaces is all he had. Real nice trailer park. And I had a huge yard. I said, first thing popped in my mind, oh man, I'll have me a good sized garden here. No, you're not messing up my grass. So I kept thinking a little bit more, and it really bugged me. And I said, there's a patio right there, right? I said, he's going to let me have flowers around that patio, I know. And these things are going to bloom. So I had more stuff around my little patio in like a little area like this, all the way around. And I gave stuff away. I had so much because a lot of times it's not as intimidating and we keep it up better, a small place than we would if we did have a half acre. A lot of times you put more time in it and invest more. So it just goes to show you, that you can have a whole lot in a tiny space and sometimes a whole lot more.
I think that's a wonderful idea, Marlene. I mean, educate people about how they can grow their food.
I've kind of felt so sorry. I wanted to go home with them.
Oh.
Because they were just up there
Like the
loading
TV
up
show,
dirt.
you met them at Lowe's.
They were just all this stuff, tools, that they'd never owned before, hoes and shovels and stuff.
There's so much information out there, all you gotta do is look at it.
Exactly.
It's
But
not
I
hard
was
to
so
find out
glad, that they were asking some questions. So, that was one thing. But at least they were getting out there. But like he was talking about the Victory Gardens, the men were off to war, and the women ran and started those Victory Gardens for their family and themselves. Because the men folks wasn't there, and they had to do these little Victory Gardens, something that they could handle with just a hoe and a shovel, because their men were gone. So that's why they call it Victory.
Similar to that's a square foot garden. I did that a couple of times with great success. Like you say, it's easier to manage, so it's easier to keep up with.
Exactly. It's not so intimidating.
You're not out there like hoeing acres like when I was a kid. Our garden was huge. So yeah, square foot garden. I was looking for something on the internet and I found a container that had the little slots on the side that things can grow out, and then the air tomatoes, and it's all kind of neat stuff.
There's plenty of information out there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great idea.
I have my garden is a secret project. I'll let you see it in a few months, maybe.
So if I may, so everything that you all said was good. If we formulate that, for instance, you had mentioned board members create, hey, you could do this at home, some kind of display where it's, the goal of the display is not the creation of food, it's to say, hey, this is how you do this.
Right.
All the cross sections, what have you. And so that's part of this. We can write down things of that nature and come up with a handful of items. So, okay, these are our action items for this. Because these 4 items here are, 2 of them are kind of meta level, Right to Farm Act and Ag. The other 2, the back 2, provide appropriate assistance to non-traditional, and the Victory Gardens, that's much more personal. We can draw people in and address the graying of the ag population and getting new farmers in and food security. So I think if we actively work on these 4 items and somehow, there's a bunch of different angles to address this from, but we have the opportunity to do this, and I think we can really make this work. We all kind of put our heads together. I'm available throughout the month. If you all want to call me and get together with me, or
I will say, Kim, I talked to her on the telephone. She couldn't make it tonight. And she has been working on this, and she has a lot of research already done.
excellent.
So she's really excited about it. But she didn't know we had a meeting, so she was,
I'm sorry about the miscommunication.
that's okay. She's in Anderson, couldn't make it here in time, so. But she wanted me to tell y'all that she has a lot of research on this subject.
Good.
Yeah.
Is she in contact with the food policy person?
No,
Okay.
I don't think.
All right, well, maybe we can be in contact with
Yeah.
that person.
They're like us. They have been doing a lot of stuff that's come about because of the virus and the tornado.
It's just totally knocked our
Oh, yeah.
wind out of our sails. I mean, unreal. So Mr. Ed's gonna do the bale garden. I'll do the container. Y'all sign up for whatever you wanna do,
I'll
right?
do a vertical garden.
I've already got
Oh, yeah. I love that.
You like
Sound like
to
good-
have
I
a-
love that.
Good assignments, okay?
I
We'll
get-
come up with a
Great
plan
idea.
for the next meeting.
Think about it,
We'll
okay.
get there.
Okay.
All right, old business?
I just wanted to mention that you were talking about the food policy thing. I know this probably isn't, but we talked about it before, but that group of young ladies got together and fed people for 3 or 4 days after the tornado. They went over to, Seneca Church of God and had a chefs there, made chef-quality dinners that went out all over the area, particularly in the Utica area. But they were on the go, and I was so proud of those girls
Great.
and the work that they did. I was busy taking care of my tenants, but they were there, I saw them. But they did, we were in a lot of contact, we had a lot of donations, food, and a lot of people donated their time. But those young ladies really know how to organize. I can tell you that.
That's wonderful.
A lot of late night phone calls and texts, but we got it going, and we got people over there and food to the right people.
And there were,
And good food, too. It wasn't, I mean, I didn't have any of it, but
A lot of people fed.
there
a
was,
lot of
yeah,
people fed.
a lot of groups, a lot of wonderful reaction to this storm. A lot of people came in. It was amazing. The beginning farmer guide, is it
Yeah,
good?
yeah, where is it? I
It's like-
think Carrie had it last. I haven't heard back from her.
Okay.
So we do need to get going on that, and I was gone, but.
Let's see if we can get it
So I
posted.
think she was just reviewing it,
Okay,
so I'll get in touch with her.
okay, good. Can we post it when it's ready, post it to the county?
It should be ready, unless she's got some
Last
changes,
time I saw
yeah.
it, it's pretty good, pretty full.
How about the advertising thing that we talked about? You have a spot?
As far as like putting in like the
Well, right now, what we've got going on is farmers markets. I mean, in the next few weeks, all of them are gonna be pretty active because people's, hopefully, produce is gonna be coming in. I keep looking at Marlene because
I
she
know.
does so much stuff, but.
right, as far as that goes, I got some feedback from Carrie was a great resource as far as, getting a lot more contact information than I had.
And I have a list of people too that I want to contact, but I want to know what to tell them.
Right, and I'll send out an email as far as like what exactly, then I'll
Okay.
get as well back with the.
Do you think we can at least get something about the markets on advertising?
Well, anyone can, they don't have to wait for us. The idea of us doing it was to kind of make it all at once, kind of make it a little bit more robust. But I mean, any of the markets can put it on the calendar, the happenings calendar, the
So how do we do?
happenings calendar. Or, but we can certainly talk about that.
Okay.
I was thinking that if they would agree to, and I think they have, I can't remember, but the Farm Center website has a great calendar.
Yeah, and I'm talking about, we were talking about the newspaper that the county has a place. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because we went, we all took so many people that we're gonna contact about it
Okay.
and that kind of thing. And I just don't really know exactly how to explain it to them.
Okay, well, I'll get with you.
Okay.
That kind of reminds me to other information and happenings and contacts. We still need to furnish to Adam so he can put them where they go.
Right, and then with that also, so Mr. Land asked me about USDA grants and things of that nature. I reached out to our Economic Alliance to see if there's any finite rules, regulations, things that have been posted versus us just like saying, hey, there's money for small farmers out there. So if I can find the rules, regulations, and what the USDA has put out for grant money available for small farmers, I'll get it to you all as soon as I get it.
Commissioner Perdue and the federal government passed $3 billion for farming.
Right.
And so I don't know if they finished the plan of how it's going to be implemented, but that money will be available. Anybody that's in the food chain, if you're in the farmer, you're in the food chain.
Right.
I mean, that's what they're trying to
Gotcha.
stop any breaks in the food chain, is what it's for. But I researched last week and couldn't find any details, enough details to bring you information for.
FSA is giving money, if you, like on your crops, if you've lost any money, or like if you were setting cattle and this caused you to think that your prices went down during this time. There's been money for that,
That's through that, okay.
for the
I
FSA.
don't know if that's part of that program or not, but there's a lot of money out
There's
there.
so much right now.
There's a lot out there right now that the
Changing
farmers need to be
daily.
educated
Yep.
and let them know that it's out there. If it's all gonna be implemented through the FSA, then we need to get that information out to them. I think.
There's emails going out, that Beth sends out. And through FSA, you have to be certified and already have been in there or
Yes.
either getting in with the program before that you can just,
Yeah, well, that's
pay
why
late fees or
I've been
whatever.
telling farmers that for
Yeah.
2 years to get signed up
I know.
and
It's
get
like-
their FSA number and be registered.
I've called and talked to people, but it's just
Yeah.
getting the time to go up there. But you got to call for an
You
appointment.
gotta make an appointment to go to the
Yeah.
FSA
You
office.
got to call.
Are they still in Walhalla, or you gotta go to?
It's best if you go to Anderson.
Yep.
They're still in Walhalla. I'm not sure about the days now, but Beth is trying to train a good many. Right now, she's just, trying to do her best, do her job plus train these girls.
Yeah.
And it's been very hard.
Yeah.
Because some of them are not
Yeah, but
pitching on
there's a
quite
lot
as
of
well
money out
as they
there for
should.
farming, and if we just need to get it, like I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
disseminated out there, how they
Um,
can apply for it.
Are any of the Oconee farmers involved in the USDA food giveaway? That was their way of helping to support farmers, is to gather food. And then I know at Seneca Baptist, every
do.
Wednesday, they give away these boxes of food.
Yeah, they
large
are.
boxes.
Yeah.
So are the farmers here
There's no-
involved in that? Is the USDA buying from them?
Not that I'm aware of any excess food that they've produced they couldn't sell because the pandemic's what's happening.
Okay, so
This
it's
is the
things that can't be sold.
Taylor Boys in Greenville is who's sponsoring, or has divided up and goes to Seneca Baptist.
Yeah.
But through their produce company that they're purchasing from different farmers. I know they had some stuff from Lower Part of State, but I don't think we have anybody that has excess in Oconee
Yeah.
County when it comes to
Okay.
fresh food, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit.
This is a good box of food, though, from what I've seen of it. And the school system has just started this past Thursday. It's not meals like they were divvying up to the kids. This is groceries. On
Thursdays?
Thursdays, yes, the
week,
school
yeah, I saw
district,
that.
on every Thursday, you go on their website and it will tell you, and there is 10 meals, milk, vegetables, everything that those kids and those families can get every Thursday.
And it's no.
This is all summer long.
And it's no income need for
Okay,
that,
it's not
right? I
just
mean, anybody. can
Anybody,
get
18
that.
years or under.
Right, right. You
Anybody
don't have to
that's school
qualify.
eligible age.
Well, they say if they're hungry, they say to.
I mean, where, if I may ask this question, where's the funding coming from for this?
I'm not fully sure, but it's okay with the school board. They're the one that,
No, I'm just curious,
Yeah.
is it FDA funded, or is it, or just the county funded, or state funded?
I'm not sure about that,
Okay.
but I will find out about that. But it's just to make sure during this epidemic thing, the Canova thing, whatever, is that these kids
No,
has
I-
food.
No, I
Has
understand
food.
44, yeah.
Especially with parents out of work, that is where this is all come in at. It's because they're,
Okay.
no jobs. The kids has got to be fed, period.
Yep.
But this will make 10 meals.
Yep.
Fresh milk and all. And these buses are sitting in certain places, and you are entitled to that food. They are.
If I may, some of my favorite parts of our farmer and rancher listening sessions and other stuff we've done have happened after the meetings, because people are able to be comfortable and chat like this, and there's a lot of information exchange happens here. I know new and old business is coming off, but what if we added some kind of like agricultural roundtable or something like that to the agenda so we can have this? Because this is stuff, not happens voting, things actually happen, but like there's a fair amount of talk here. So if it's okay with you all, I'll talk to the county attorney about it and see if that's something of that nature is possible, because we're unique as far as the boards, councils, and commissions are concerned, because you all work in the field that you all are talking about. So I just came in my head watching y'all talk, like, this is an important part of these meetings. So,
Valuable exchange, yes, sir. All right, we're down to number 12, I think. Unless there's any other new business.
Vote we adjourn. I mean, I motion that we adjourn. We adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Yeah.